My name is Emily. I am an elderly woman now. Youth has long left me. I have turned 83. My hair has turned silver, my face carries countless creases. My hands are mapped with deep wrinkles. I have walked this earth for many decades. I have witnessed countless events, yet the memories of my teenage years remain sharp and clear. I often travel back to those days in my mind. Those years were difficult, but they gave me the greatest lessons of my life. When I was young, nobody had faith in me. My father used to say, "You're idle. You will never amount to anything." Today I am on my way to meet my son after ages. The aircraft is about to take off. Passengers are chatting, some laugh, some sit silently. A calm voice announces, "Kindly fasten your seat belts." I obey without thinking. The plane begins to roll. My chest feels tight with old memories. I think of the last time I saw my son. He was still a boy, eyes bright with dreams. He had said, "Mother, I want to study. I want a better future." I had replied, "Go, my child. Study hard. Stay brave." Then he walked away. Years rolled by. Letters arrived first, then telephone calls, but I never saw his face again. Now I hold a ticket, a boarding pass, and a destination that matters more than any other. I shut my eyes for a second. I still hear his voice from long ago. "Come see me one day, Mom." I had answered, "Yes, my son. The time has come." A gentle voice pulls me back. "May I get you something to drink?" I open my eyes and look at the air hostess. "Only water, please." She hands me a tiny plastic cup. I hold it carefully. The cabin has grown quiet. I hear soft murmurs and footsteps, but my thoughts are far away. I go back to my childhood. Life was harsh then. We were poor. Every day was work. Father toiled in the fields, mother cooked and cleaned, and I helped her. That was my world. One afternoon I heard children reciting lessons. Their voices rang like bells. Something stirred inside me. I wanted that too. I gathered courage and asked, "Papa, may I go to school?" He looked at me and shook his head. "No, Emily. Girls don't need books. Girls look after the home." I said nothing, but a tiny flame lit up inside me. Why? Why could my brothers learn and not I? At night, when everyone slept, I quietly took my brother's schoolbook. I opened it under the faint lamp, traced the letters with my finger, and whispered the sounds. I understood little, but I kept trying. Mother caught me one night. "Emily, go to sleep. I want to learn," I said. She only sighed and never stopped me again. Time passed. I learned bit by bit, listening, copying, asking. People mocked me. "Why bother? You're only a girl." I paid no attention. Then Father decided it was time for me to marry. I didn't want that life. I wanted to work, to grow, to keep learning. "No, Father. I want something else." He grew furious. He couldn't understand. So I left home. I was terrified, but one thing was clear. I wanted more than what others had decided for me. I left with empty pockets, and only hope in my heart. I walked to the next town, searching for any job. Most turned me away. "A woman alone, what can you do?" "I can work harder than anyone," I replied. A kind shopkeeper finally gave me a chance. "You can sweep and help customers." "Thank you," I said, and meant it. I worked from dawn till late night. I listened to every conversation, learned new words, watched how money was counted. One day I asked her, "Will you teach me numbers and money?" She smiled. "Of course, child." I learned quickly. Soon I was no longer sweeping floors. I was selling, calculating, managing. People began saying, "That Emily is clever. She has a head for business." I saved every coin. It wasn't much, but it belonged to me. Then I took the biggest risk of my life. "I want my own shop." The woman laughed, kindly warned, "It won't be easy." "I know," I said, "but I will do it anyway." I rented a tiny corner, bought a few goods, and opened my doors. At first no one came. They whispered, "A woman running a shop? She'll fail." I kept smiling, kept welcoming everyone with warmth. Slowly, customers arrived. They bought a little, then more. My little shop grew. One day a man walked in. He watched me for a long time and said, "You're different. You're strong." I didn't know how to answer. He returned the next day and the next. Finally he asked, "Will you marry me?" I thought of my father's old words, but now I had power to choose. "Yes," I said, "but only if you respect my dreams and let me keep my shop." He smiled. "Always, Emily." We married. We built the business together. Then our son was born. I held that tiny boy and promised him silently, "You will never face the barriers I did. You will study. You will rise." Years flew. My son grew clever and hungry for knowledge. One evening he said, "Mom, I want to study in the big city." My heart ached. I wanted him near, but I remembered my own chained childhood. I smiled through tears. "Go, my love. Learn everything. Be strong." He left with his bag and my blessings. First letters came often, then phone calls full of excitement. I lived for those moments. Later the letters slowed, the calls grew short. "I'm busy, Mom. Exams, job." I understood, yet emptiness crept in. Then one day, silence. Weeks, months. No reply to my letters. I sat in the quiet house staring at his empty chair and wondered, have I lost him? Should I have kept him closer? Then, out of nowhere, a letter arrived. My fingers trembled as I opened it. "Mom, I miss you terribly. I have a good job now. Please come. I want to see you." Tears blurred the ink. He had not forgotten. I did not hesitate this time. I bought the ticket, packed a small bag, and for the first time in my life boarded an airplane. Everything was strange and loud. My heart raced as the plane roared into the sky. I kept asking myself, will he know me after all these years? Will my white hair and lined face still be Mom to him? The plane began its descent. Soon, very soon, I would know. We landed. Passengers hurried past. I walked slowly toward the exit, searching every face. He was not there. My heart sank. Had he changed his mind? Had all this been for nothing? I stood lost among the crowd. Then a young woman approached. "Are you Emily?" "Yes, your son couldn't come. He's stuck in an urgent meeting. He sent me to bring you." Something inside me broke quietly. He had not come himself. I followed her to the car in silence. The city lights blurred past. I felt the old heaviness return. The car stopped in front of a tall building. She smiled. "He's waiting upstairs." We rode the elevator. The doors slid open, and there he was. I saw him. He stood there in a suit, older, taller, stronger, but his face was still my son's face. I wanted to smile, but I waited. I wanted him to speak first. He looked at me. His mouth opened, then closed. He took a step forward, then he said, "Mom, I'm so sorry." His voice cracked. His eyes filled with tears. I did not expect that. He walked to me, took my hands, held them tight. I wanted to be there. I tried, but I couldn't leave. I was afraid you would be angry. I looked at my son, my grown son. He was not a boy anymore, but in this moment he looked like one. I smiled. I held his hands. My son, I said, I am here now. At that moment I knew he had not forgotten me. My son held my hands. His grip was strong, but his hands were shaking. His eyes were full of tears. I had not seen him cry since he was a little boy. Mom, he said again, his voice soft. I miss you. I looked at him, the little boy who once held my hand on his first day of school, the boy who ran to me when he was scared. Now he was a man with a suit, a job, a life of his own. But in this moment he was still my son. I miss you too, I said. My voice was calm. He sighed. I thought you would be angry. I thought you would feel forgotten. I shook my head. I waited for you, yes. But I knew you were working hard. I knew you were building your future. That is what I wanted for you. He closed his eyes for a second, then looked at me again. Mom, I should have visited you. I should have called more. I smiled. I am here now. That is what matters. He let go of my hands and stepped back. Come, let's go home. Home? I asked. Yes, he said, smiling now. My home, your home now. We walked out together. The air was cool. The city lights were bright. Everything was different, but something inside me felt the same. I was not just a visitor. I was not just an old woman who came from far away. I was still a mother. We got into his car. As we drove, he talked about his job, his dreams, his struggles. He asked about my life. How was the store, Mom? How was everything? I laughed. Oh, the store is fine, but business is not as easy as before. He smiled. Maybe I can help with that. I looked at him. My son was now the one offering help. Time had changed things, but love had not changed. We arrived at his home. It was big, clean, beautiful. He opened the door for me. Come in, Mom. I stepped inside. The house was warm. On the table there was food, my favorite food. He looked at me. I cooked for you. I felt my heart grow full. Thank you, my son. We sat together. We ate. We talked. We laughed. And then, as the night became quiet, he looked at me and said, Mom, I learned everything from you. You taught me to work hard. You taught me to dream. You taught me to never give up. I felt tears in my eyes. I had always wondered if I had done enough, if I had made the right choices, if my son still needed me. Now I knew the answer. I reached across the table and took his hand. Life is always moving, I said, but love never changes. He smiled. Yes, Mom. And now we are together again. I nodded. I was home. As I sit here in my son's home, I think about my life, the long years, the hard moments, the choices I made. I was once a girl with no voice, a girl who wanted to learn, a girl who wanted more. People told me, you can't. But I did. I want you to think about my story, about my journey. Maybe you have dreams you are afraid to follow. Maybe you are waiting for someone to return. Maybe you feel forgotten. But listen to me, you are stronger than you think. You are more important than you believe. You are not alone. So do not be afraid. Move forward. Believe in yourself, and never forget, love always finds a way.